Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campy, and this little quick special video here is all about what was just the 2019 Academy Awards. And I wanted to get some time in here to give you my quick thoughts. Now, we'll go more into details and more in depth tomorrow on the John Campy Show when I got Robert and Ashley with me. So we'll go more into depth on that then. But I wanted to give some quick thoughts on the results and on the show itself. First of all, let me say this about the show itself. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was quite a good show. And I'll tell you what else. I hated that we did not have a host this year. I hated it. It breaks tradition. I thought it wouldn't flow as well. I really thought they should have had a host. But you know what? I thought it worked perfectly well without a host. And I didn't think it would. I really did not like that they weren't going to have a host. I mean, they still had, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Maya Rudolph come out and do that opening bit, which I thought was great. That was wonderful. But honestly, I just felt like the show flowed. I just felt like it had a good flow and a good pace to it. And I got to say, I was totally good with the fact that they didn't have a host, and that surprised me. It really did surprise me. So color me surprised and totally thankful that I am. Now, I'm going to take some of your thoughts and comments on the show as well. Of course, there were two films that I was really hoping it would win. I wanted either Black Klansman, that was my first choice to win. My second choice to win was Green Book, and I really thought Roma was going to win because Green Book becomes only the fifth film in cinematic history, only the fifth film in the 91 years of the Academy Awards to win Best Picture without its director being nominated for Best Director. So, came out of nowhere. Once Alfonso Cuarón won for Best Director, I thought, well, that really puts a lock on it. Roma's going to win. So happy for Green Book. I would have preferred Black Klansman, but I'm totally happy with the Green Book win. Green Book won some big ones. It won Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay. It won Best Mahershala Ali for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, big night for Green Book, but there was a lot to go around. So let's look at a couple of them. Number one, Best Supporting Actress was no surprise. Regina King won that. We all knew that was going to happen. Best Documentary Feature went to Free Solo. I'd be happier for it if it wasn't for the fact that Won't You Be My Neighbor should have been nominated and should have won. Achievement in Hair and Makeup, Vice. Not a big surprise there, but Vice won. I thought maybe Mary Queen of Scots would win, but Vice wins that one. Costume Design went to Black Panther. No big surprise there. Black Panther won 5. All minor awards. It wasn't nominated for any of the majors, but at the end of the day, it collected 5 Academy Awards, including Best Costume Design, Best Production Design, also went to Black Panther. Cinematography went to Roma, no big surprise there. Sound editing and sound mixing, or sound editing went to Bohemian Rhapsody. Sound mixing, sorry, I said 5, I meant 3 for Black Panther. Sound editing and sound mixing both went to Bohemian Rhapsody, no complaints there. Best Foreign Language Film, well, the only one that was also nominated for Best Picture went to Roma, no surprise. Film editing, this one surprised me a bit. Bohemian Rhapsody. I actually thought Best Editing might go to Green Book, but John Ottoman for Bohemian Rhapsody won. That one was a little bit surprised, but happy for it. Bohemian Rhapsody won several big awards tonight, too. As we mentioned before, Best Actor in a Supporting Role went to Mahershala Ali. No big surprise there. I kind of thought Sam Elliott would. And Sam Elliott was my first pick to win that, but Mahershala Ali was probably my second pick to win, and it was good to see him win that. No-brainer, Best Animated Feature went to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is fantastic because, it was, to me, it was the third best film of the year. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse should have been nominated for Best Picture as well, in my opinion, but it took home Best Animated. Best Animated Short went to Bao. That's probably the only one that a lot of you guys saw. Best Documentary Short went to Period and Sentence. Best Achievement in Visual Effects was my biggest surprise of the night. I thought it would either go to Ready Player One or Avengers Infinity War, and it ended up going to First Man. Now remember, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, do not sleep on the First Man nomination, because there are so many visual effects in that movie that the audience doesn't even know are visual effects. That says a lot. And still, I didn't think it would win, but First Man took Best Visual Effects, and the visual effects in First Man are incredible. Best Live Action Short went to Skin. Original Screenplay went to Green Book, which was great. Best Adapted Screenplay went to Black Klansman, which I thought was great. Achievement in music written for motion pictures, Ludwig Göransson from Black Panther, who was, of course, roommates with the director of the film when they were at USC. Ryan Coogler and him were roommates in USC. I didn't know that until I saw the movie. So I saw the awards tonight, which is pretty cool. Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures, Shallow by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. And of course, they sang it tonight, and I still don't like music performances in the Oscars, but that was a good performance they gave. That was a pretty good performance. Best Actor in a Leading Role, Rami Malek. Not a big surprise there. I kind of thought Viggo Mortensen might win it, but Rami was certainly a big contender there. Actress in a Leading Role went to Olivia Colman. Of course, the actresses in the Favorite were powerhouses this year. By the way, Best Acceptance Speech of the night too. Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Best Acceptance Speech of the night. I thought that was great. Best Director went to Alfonso Cuarón. I thought it should have gone to Spike Lee, but I'm not surprised at all that it went to Alfonso for that. He did a great job with it. And then, of course, Best Picture of the Year went to Green Book. I'll tell you what, not a lot of surprises, and that's okay. But I thought it was just a good, crisp show that moved at a good pace. Again, I could do without the musical performances. And again, the big surprise to me is that I thought it worked great without a host. There was no big highlight moment of the show, but that was okay because the show kept moving and it kept having pace. And a lot of times, some of our criticisms of the Academy Awards are that it drags and it feels like a lot of unnecessary stuff is being done. And I gotta say, I thought without a host, it would be even worse. But it turns out that without a host, it actually moved even better. And I don't know, maybe you talk about not having a host next year. Maybe. I mean, I never thought I would say that. But maybe, just maybe, you look at next year without a host. Hey, listen, guys, I just wanted to give my quick thoughts, but a bunch of you guys are firing in a bunch of live comments as well. I want to jump over and just see what you guys are saying. Spencer Main is writing, Cooper and Gaga were amazing in a total ship. Yeah, I got to say, I did like the performance. I'm still a little mad that Celine Dion's Ashes from Deadpool 2 didn't get nominated, but whatever. Cooper and Gaga gave quite a nice performance, actually, so I did enjoy that. Degato1 writes, can every year not have a host? The show flew by. Yeah, you know what? That's the funny thing. It was still 3.5 hours long, but it flew. That is the magic of pace. There was a pace and a cadence to the show, and they kept it moving. And I still think there are a few things they can do to tighten it up, but yeah, color me surprised. It really did fly by, and it worked great without a host. Geo Watch, lost my shit when Rami won. Glenn Close, surprise. Glenn Close didn't win. Were you surprised she didn't win? I'm not terribly surprised she didn't win. I thought she was a long shot anyway, but Rami gave a great performance. Again, I still thought it was going to go to Viggo Mortensen, but Rami was way up there, and he was fantastic in Bohemian Rhapsody, so no complaints from me. David Lillian writes, over under 10% Cooper and Gaga are doing it right now. Well, I think they're both in relationships, so I'm going to hope that that's not true. I'm going to hope that the answer to that is no. But who knows? They're big stars. Maybe their significant others are okay with it. I don't know. Curtis Lopez writes, Green Book won and people are not happy. Well, I don't care if people are happy or not. It was a fantastic movie. It was an absolutely fantastic movie. It won a lot of major awards heading into the Oscars, so nobody should really be surprised. I thought it was a magnificent film, absolutely fantastic, and hearing that congressman come out and talk about it too was very inspiring and very moving as well. And yeah, if you're not happy with Green Book won, tough. I mean, lots of movies win that we don't want to win, and tough on us when that happens, but I'm incredibly thrilled for it. Because again, my first choice to win tonight was Black Panther, or Black Klansman. That was my first choice to win. But my second was Green Book. And I'm so thrilled for it. I thought it was a very, very special movie. And yeah, again, I wish it was Black Klansman, but I'm totally good with it being Green Book. Arturo Beltran once, sucks no Endgame trailer. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I did an open mic earlier today, Arturo, because remember, I thought a couple weeks ago there was a good chance. I thought there was a good chance that we would get an Endgame trailer tonight. But then earlier today on an open mic, I said, people asked me, do you still think we're going to get an Endgame trailer tonight? And I said, nope. Because I think if you were going to show an Endgame trailer on the Oscars tonight, I think they would have announced it in advance to draw more eyeballs to the show. And when they didn't announce it, then I thought, I still thought it was a possibility, but I said on Open Mic earlier today, nah, it's probably not going to happen because they didn't announce it. And if you're going to show a new Endgame trailer, you announce that shit to bring people in, right? So that's what I thought. Sebastian writes, I knew Black Panther would get best costume design. Yeah, I think through all the different discipline awards that went on throughout the last month or two, Black Panther was cleaning up a lot of those. And while I don't think it was an automatic lock that it was going to win, I thought it was clearly the favorite. It was clearly the front runner. Let's put it this way. I think it would have been considered an upset if Black Panther didn't win in costume or production design. I think it probably would have been considered a little bit of an upset at that point. Gio writes, no host method felt awesome. First man win. Wow. Yeah, again, I have no problems with first man winning best visual effects. No problems at all. The visual effects are stupid good in that. So good, 90% of the time you don't even know you're looking at visual effects. But I am surprised. It is, to me, the biggest surprise of the night, was First Man winning that award. But again, no complaints from me. I would have given it maybe to Ready Player One or Avengers Infinity War, but absolutely no complaints from me that First Man won. The visual effects were impeccable. They were perfect. They were absolutely perfect, so no problems from me. Let's see. And again, no host. Surprise, surprise, it worked. And I didn't think it would. But after the show was done, the first thing I said was, that worked perfectly well without a host. And I didn't think it would, and it did. At least in my opinion, it did. All right, Curtis Lopez writes, I love that Black Panther won for costume, production design, and score. Yeah, here's the funny thing. Whenever people think about Black Panther and the music, Ann and I had this conversation a number of months ago. We automatically think of the soundtrack, right? We think of the soundtrack. But, Ann and I were listening to the overall soundtrack, which includes the score. It's like, the score for this movie is even better than the soundtrack of the movie. The score is incredible. And yeah, when it won, I was actually quite pleased for it. I was quite pleased. Three Academy Awards for Black Panther tonight. It was none of the major ones, but when did a comic book movie ever win 3 Academy Awards? I don't know 100% for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's never. Okay. Spider-Verse, Curtis Lopez writes, Spider-Verse for the win. Yeah, I was like, look, it was either going to be Spider-Verse or Incredibles 2. And I honestly thought there may have been a chance they might have given it to Incredibles 2. And I love Incredibles 2. Love Incredibles 2. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the right choice. That was absolutely the right choice, and I'm super thrilled for it winning. Again, though, I don't even think there should be a category for Best Animated. It's a booby prize. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse should have been nominated for Best Picture, but I'm super glad it got a win. Let's see. Bennett Hardy writes, I was shocked, loved Green Book. I loved Green Book too. I was surprised. I really thought it was going to be Roma. But this is why you say, never say it's 100% lock. We could still be surprised. There are opportunities for others to win. But I really did think if I had to put $20 on it, I would have put it on Roma. I thought it was almost a lock. And I thought it was a lock. There was still a chance for some others, but I was going to be stunned if anything other than Roma won. I was hoping it wouldn't win because I don't like the film, but I'm super happy for its success. I was really hoping it would either be Black Klansman or Green Book. First choice would have been Black Klansman, but very, very happy for Green Book. I thought the movie was wonderful. Not the greatest film of all time, like I was kind of hoping it would be, but it's an excellent movie, and I'm so happy for it. Let's see. Where are we down to here? Jack Leo writes, love Green Book, and it breaks my heart to see all the negative backlash it's getting online. The comparison to Crash, wow. That's fine. That's fine. Green Book is one of the best films of the year. And you can have whatever feelings you want about it. That's cool. That's the beauty of the movies, that we can love some films, love others more. It's all subjective, and that's great. But I don't know what the point of giving backlash. Like, I thought, Shawshank Redemption should not have lost to Forrest Gump, but you're never going to hear a negative thing out of my mouth about Forrest Gump. Do I think another film should have won? Yes. I think Shawshank should have won. but you're never going to hear me backlash against Forrest Gump. The movie's fantastic. And Green Book is, look, I thought A Quiet Place was the best film of the year. I thought the best film of the year that was actually nominated for Best Picture was Black Klansman, but I thought the second best film of the year that was actually nominated for Best Picture was Green Book, and I'm totally psyched for it. It's a beautiful film, well done, and congrats to them. All right, Jonas Tiger writes, look at me. I said, look at me. How dare you? Close your eyes. Oh, from The Favorite. How dare you? Oh, my God, that movie's so good. Eric Paul writes, how on earth did Malick get Best Actor? He did fine, but come on, over Bale and Mortensen, popularity over talent. Oh, come on, don't tell me for a second. Don't tell me for a second that Rami Malek is more popular than Christian Bale. He's not. He is not more popular than Christian Bale. But look, he was brilliant. I mean, I would have given it to Viggo Mortensen. I wouldn't have argued if Christian Bale had won, but frankly, just between you and me, if I was a voting member of the Academy, I'm giving it to Rami Malek before Christian Bale for this particular award. He was brilliant as Freddie Mercury. Now, I didn't think Bohemian Rhapsody should have been nominated for Best Picture, but, I mean, Rami Malek was brilliant in the role. So while I would have given it to Mortensen, I'm not going to complain about Rami Malek. It's not my first choice, but he was brilliant, and I can totally see why a lot of people voted for him. And I think he's a deserving recipient. I think he's a deserving recipient. I really do. All right. Blackest Oscar ever. Even Rami is Egyptian. Win. Well, yeah, it was a very diverse group of winners. But the funny thing is, other than First Man winning Best Visual Effects, I got no complaints. I mean, Mahershala Ali, I might have given it to Sam Elliott, but if not Elliott, definitely Mahershala Ali. No complaint about that. Regina King was a no-brainer. She was going to win that. She was my pick. There was no doubt she should have won it. So, yes, full power to that. Alfonso Cuarón, obviously we knew it was going to be a big night for Roma. Not as big as we thought it might be, but it was still a big night for Roma. I mean, it was, and none of the winners felt like symbolic winners. They all felt like these are all deserving winners. And like I said, again, the only one that was really any kind of a surprise to me was First Man, but even then I have no complaints. Let's see. Where were we? That was the dawn. Okay. Marcus Robert Johnson writes, I wanted to encourage everyone to check out and donate to Jeff's GoFundMe. He's our fellow dude. He is our fellow, I think you mean diehard movie fan and has a bad case of cancer. The link is in the Facebook podcast group. Get well soon. I have not, I've been a little bit tied up today. I have not seen that. Thank you for sharing that, Marcus. I will go over there as soon as we're done here and take a look at that. Thank you for sharing that, Marcus. I appreciate that a lot. Pedro Augusto Marquez writes, felt bad for Glenn, as in Glenn Close. I mean, I don't know. Look, I think she was a long shot. And I loved the acceptance speech saying, oh my God, Glenn Close, I've idolized you forever. I didn't want to meet like this, which I thought was really funny. But I think she was a long shot tonight. And I think she knew she was a long shot tonight because when she didn't win, there was no surprise on her face. I think she knew that was a long shot. But I mean, just to be nominated is a huge honor. Pedro Augusto, once again, called best pick, preferential ballot strikes again. Hey, and it's a great winner. It's a great winner. And, there's not a lot I would have had a problem with if they won. Again, I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody even should have been nominated. I don't think Black Panther should have won, considering it didn't get nominated in any of the major categories. So I don't know how you can get Best Picture if you're not even nominated for any of the major categories. But I really thought Roma would win. Super happy Green Book did, though. I would have been a little more happy had it been Black Klansman, but I'm super happy for Green Book nonetheless. Murray Reich writes, I'm surprised 50 Shades didn't win anything. Yeah, I was sitting there all night just waiting. Which ones are 50 Shades nominated for? That's good, man. That's funny. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? I'm just going to fly through these guys here. Haskell 420 writes, It was a great show. Most of the speeches were off the chart. The speech was really good. Olivia Colman's best speech of the night. Olivia Colman's surprise win in speech was a riot when she, the wrap it up, and love Chris Evans' fist pump for the first Black Panther win. Again, that was one of my favorite speeches in a long time. That Olivia Colman speech was one of my favorite speeches because she legitimately, you could just tell, some people go, oh, I had no idea I was going to win. Yes, you did. You could tell she was shocked that she won. You could just tell she had no idea she was going to win. And I thought it was charming and delightful. And like, this is never going to happen again. Like showing, I just thought it was precious and charming. And my wife hasn't seen The Favorite yet. And Anne's like, I don't know who she is, but now I want to watch that movie. And I think she just won a lot of people over because that speech, Haskell, was awesome and just dynamite. All right. Cinematic Galaxy writes, Superman music over in Memoriam was beautiful. It really was. It was. I kind of wish, when he said John Williams, I thought, oh my God, John Williams is there. I kind of wish it was John Williams conducting, but whatever it was beautiful. And again, the In Memoriam, the Oscars nail it every year. Sometimes there's people not in there that we kind of wish they were, but that's fine. The Oscars nail the In Memoriam. It's always very special. And it is one of my most, I think it's weird to say it's your favorite part because that's a little dark, I guess, but it is a very special hallowed ground when it comes to the Oscars. And I thought, again, they did the In Memoriam very well. Nice to see that they included, like I was totally cool that they didn't include Stan Lee at the SAG thing because he wasn't an actor, but he was definitely had a big influence on the film industry. And I thought it was very appropriate that they included Stan Lee in the In Memoriam tonight. Green Arrow 7 writes, like Green Book, but its exploration of racism is so surface level, it's insulting. If Beale Street Could Talk and Black Klansman cut way deeper, but that doesn't automatically make them better movies. And I honestly did not think Green Book was all that surface that some people like to say it is. I don't think it was. And I thought, again, that one congressman who got up to talk about the movie, I thought he put it great. And it's just overall the better movie. It was the better movie than If Beale Street Could Talk. I thought Black Klansman could have won over it. I would have picked Black Klansman over it, but do not take anything away from how fantastic that movie is. And again, super happy that it won. Very, very excited. Would have been a little more excited if it was Black Klansman, but super happy that Green Book won nonetheless. Let's see. Eric Saul writes, that breaking fourth wall speech Bale gives at the end of Vice still sends chills. Hey, look, I would have been very surprised if Christian Bale won. I thought his performance in Vice was very good. But honestly, not like one of my top 3 Christian Bale performances. I thought it was great, but it's a testament to how good Christian Bale is when his performance in Vice was not even in his top 3 performances, in my personal opinion. And I would have given it to Viggo over him, and I would have given it to Rami over him, and I'm very happy with it. But you're right. I mean, his performance was great, man. His performance was great. All right, let's see. Like that, Spike Lee basically says, if you say things are too political, I'm going to say whatever the F I want. Love that, man. Yeah, it was by far the most political speech of the evening. It was absolutely by far the most political speech that we needed. To be frank, even a little bit awkward. To be honest, it was a little bit awkward. Now, I think Spike Lee also should have won Best Director, but I'm totally fine with Alfonso winning. But it was almost very awkward at first. Like it almost felt like he didn't know what he was reading. And it felt a little jarring and a little awkward at first. And I mean, but hey, it was Spike Lee. What did we expect? But as far as he won for screenplay, very deservingly. Black Klansman was a terrific screenplay. Super happy for it. And yeah, easily the most political moment of the night. I'm sure it made a few people wince. But hey, whatever. That was his one moment on the stage at the Academy Awards, so he took advantage of it. Jared McBride writes, Black Panther won 3 Oscars. That's awesome. Yep, and I think that's... And you know what? The funny thing is, I've talked a lot of the last few weeks about how, well, I love Black Panther. I didn't think it should be nominated for Best Picture, much like I loved Bohemian Rhapsody, but I didn't think it should have been nominated for Best Picture either. And I really quite like Vice, but I didn't think it should have been nominated for Best Picture either. But whatever. I'm so thrilled for Black Panther, number 1, winning 3 awards, but number 2, feeling very confident and very safe in saying it deserved all the awards it won. And it feels great to be able to say that. So it's great to say it won 3 awards, but it would have had a little tinge of disappointment to it if I didn't feel like it actually deserved those awards. It won 3 awards and it deserved all of them. And that's what feels really good. And again, I've got to believe, I don't know 100% for sure, but wouldn't that be a record? Like, how many Oscars did Dark Knight win? I know it won at least a couple, but I don't know if it won 3 or 4, but it's at least got to be tied for most. I would think. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing. Malachi Roberts writes, Spike Lee, finally. Yep, Spike Lee got up there. Again, I thought he should have took home Best Director as well, but you could tell he was excited. Like, he's a jaded Hollywood vet at this time, so you could tell he was excited to finally get up there and get that win. Tasty Dash writes, I think what made First Man look so great was the cinematography rather than just the VFX. Well, it's always works in tandem. The VFX never stand on an island by themselves. It's always in tandem with the cinematography, for sure. Thanos deserved it in my eyes, but I'm still satisfied. Thanos was a great single element. But, and don't get me wrong, I would have given it to Infinity War. But do not sell short the effects work done in First Man. They were literal perfection. They were so perfect, you didn't even realize most of the time you were looking at visual effects. That's how perfect they were. And that's why I said a couple of weeks ago on the show, I said, do not sleep on this movie, man. Like, again, I would have gone for Infinity War, maybe even Ready Player One. But it's the amount of expertise and skill to make the visual effects as seamless and flawless as they were in First Man is no small feat. And my hat's off to him. And while I wouldn't have given it the award myself, I got no problems with it winning. Let's see here. Where am I at? Oh boy, a lot of you guys are sending in thoughts and comments. Okay. Guys, I'm going to ask you, don't send in any more. Don't say, because I want to keep today short so we can talk more about it tomorrow. I want to keep tonight short just so we can talk more about it tomorrow. So don't send in any more. So let me just quickly go through it and finish these last ones that we have here now. Hudson Smith writes, why did Rami not thank God that he made him a Freddie Mercury look-alike? Great Oscars. You know what's funny? I don't even think he looks all that much like Freddie until they put him in all the makeup. But I was looking at him tonight, I don't even see a lot of similarities between him and Freddie, but you're right, man. I thought, without a lot of big highlights, I thought it was a very good Oscars. It focused on the awards, and that's what the Oscars should be, and that's one of the reasons why I liked it so much. Dim5 writes, Kevin Feige wasn't wearing his cap. Kevin Feige has never been mentioned as much in any Oscars as he was tonight. That was always good to see, and yes, I knew he wouldn't be wearing his baseball cap tonight. At special occasions, he won't wear the baseball cap. So yeah, but it was kind of weird seeing him without the cap, that's for sure. Okay, Hector Jeter writes, I actually like what they didn't need a host. Again, color me shocked and surprised, man. I thought it worked quite well without the host, and I thought for sure it wouldn't. I really did. I thought it was going to have pacing problems without a host to keep it all together and blah, 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 but the actual opposite, in my opinion at least anyway, was true. I thought it flowed great without a host. And you may disagree, and that's cool, but I really thought it flowed very well. Alex Hajna writes, I told you a few weeks ago that Green Book was going to win, and you insisted Roma was the clear winner, so Well, I mean, again, remember, I'm thrilled for Green Book winning, and there were a number of people who still thought Green Book were going to win, but I still think I was right to predict Roma because out of 91 times that the Academy Awards have been held, only 4 times has a movie won. Before tonight, only 4 times had a movie without its director being nominated for Best Director actually win Best Picture. Only 4 times out of 91. So it was the right prediction, but the prediction, as correct of a prediction as it was, did not come to pass, and I couldn't be happier. Partially because I didn't even like Roma, so I'm super happy for Green Book. Ryan Lohner writes, nothing like a bit of girl-on-girl Olivia Colman in Hot Fuzz. Oh, I forgot. Was she in Hot Fuzz? I totally forgot about that. Totally forgot about it. How great was her speech? I know I've said that already, and I'm going to say it more tomorrow. But man, how great was her speech? Her speech was great. Richie Work writes, since they're both hockey fans, who was the better goalie? Dominic Hasek or Patrick Roy? Sorry, I had to ask. Dude, we're here to talk about the Oscars, man. We're here to talk about the Oscars. We'll talk about that later. Dominic Hasek, by the way. Alex Hajna writes, what would have been the biggest upset for you had something else won? Mine would have been Spider-Verse not winning animated feature. Not me, because while to me it clearly was, I knew Incredibles 2 is amazing. So I really thought there was a shot that Incredibles 2 could have won. I think Regina King not winning Best Supporting Actress, which she did, but yeah, I mean, her not winning Best Supporting Actress would have been the biggest shock to me of the night. Even bigger than Green Book winning. And that was a surprise because I thought Roma was pretty much a lock. But yeah, I think her not winning would have been the biggest shock to me. Ryan Lohner writes, at least we all know Black Panther was the best popular film. Sure, well, no, it wasn't. Avengers Infinity War, depends if you ask the audience, the Avengers Infinity War was, but hey man, 3 Academy Award wins for Black Panther. That's awesome. And it didn't take home the big prize, but it's another step forward for the comic book genre and its maturation and its place and the way the Academy views it. 3 wins, man. 3 wins. That is no small feat. Let's see. Philip Jason Duenas just sends a super chat. Thanks, Philip. So does Teague Hall. Thank you so much, man. And let's see. Jonas Tiger writes, I'm in tears. Sherlock and Watson won nothing. I know, right, Jonas? I kept sitting there waiting for Sherlock and Holmes Sherlock and Watson and Sherlock and Holmes, Sherlock and Watson and 50 Shades. It was like, where are these nominations, man? That's good. Alex writes, fun fact, the most thanked person at the Oscars is Steven Spielberg, even over God, further proven by Farley's Best Picture speech. Yeah, it was great when he kind of threw in thanking Steven Spielberg, and he is the GOAT. Steven Spielberg is the greatest of all time when it comes to filmmaking. He's the absolute best. And that actually, Alex, does not surprise me. That's not surprising. That's an interesting fact that you put in there, man. All right, just going to get through these last few ones here, guys. Then I got to go and start getting ready for tomorrow morning's show. Zesty writes, I love the channel, John. Happy for Spider-Verse. I'm super happy for Spider-Verse. Still think it should have been nominated for Best Picture because it was, in my opinion, the 3rd best movie of the year. But I am thrilled that they got their moment of glory there. Philip, again, thank you so much, Philip. Teague Hall writes, hopefully Spider-Verse will change the way people use animation to tell stories for kids and adults. Well, I mean, I think there have been a number of films historically, Teague, that have told, like Pixar does a great job of making movies that are kid-friendly, but quite often targeted at adults. Like, for instance, take the original Incredibles. That movie was targeted at parents in their middle age. That's who that movie was targeted for, but it was friendly for kids. I think that style of storytelling has been around for a while, but Spider-Verse just did such an excellent job of it this year. Just an excellent job of it. They told a great story. That's where it starts and finishes for me. And let's see what kind of influence that has moving forward. All right. Aussie Nerd writes, the Oscar bait movie won, shocked. Well, it was also one of the best movies. I mean, you can throw around all these terms, Oscar bait, if you want, but the only thing that matters is one of the best movies, and Green Book is. It just is. And you may disagree, and that's cool. It's all subjective. But for this film fan's opinion, Green Book is a masterpiece of a movie. And I would have given it to BlacKkKlansman over it, but it would have been my second choice this year to win, and I'm super thrilled for it. Ozzy then follows up and says, Into the Spider-Verse 1, hell yeah. Again, yeah, my excitement for it is tempered a little bit because, you know me, I don't even think there should be a category for Best Animated Films. I think the Oscars use the Best Animated category as a cop-out to not recognize animated films in the main category when they should. But fine, I am happy it won, got some glory, it deserved it, but it still should have been nominated for Best Picture, man. Still should have been nominated for Best Picture. Mark Nava writes, Infinity War not winning for Best Visual Effects feels borderline criminal. Nah, not to me. Not to me. The visual effects were great, and I would have given it to Infinity War. I would have given it to them. But again, like I told you guys a few weeks ago, don't sell First Man short. The effects were utter perfection. So good, most of the time the average audience doesn't even know they're looking at visual effects. That's when visual effects are real special. And I have zero qualms. Again, I have two other films I would have given it to over First Man myself. I would have given it to Infinity War. I would have given it to Ready Player One. But the effects in First Man are stupid good. And if you don't acknowledge how good the effects in First Man is, I would challenge you to go back and watch it again and then watch some special features, and you'll be floored when you realize how much of that movie was visual effects that you didn't even realize. And so I got no problem with it. I would have given it to Infinity War, but I'm totally good with it going to that. As a matter of fact, the visual effects category was so stacked, I would have been totally cool. I swear to God, I would have been totally cool if Christopher Robin won, because never, one time in that movie, did I not actually believe I was looking at stuffed animals come to life. I never even questioned the reality of it for a moment. That's how good they were. Ready Player One, the effects in Solo are fantastic. So, yeah, it didn't go to the one I would have picked first, but I got no issue with the one that did. Let's see. Ryan Lohner writes, love no introduction for Shallow. You all know the deal. You all know the deal with this one. Yeah, that was kind of cool. And again, full cap off. Hats off to Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. The performance was great and it was moving. And I don't even like songs being sung at the Oscars, but they did a good job. They did a good job. Give credit where it's due. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at here? KW Garrett 83 writes, Oscars only went 10 minutes overtime. That's amazing. Good. Definitely no more hosts. Just hire a comedian to do a 5-minute opening monologue opening. Forget that. Just bring back Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, and Maya Rudolph again. Just bring them back. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler did such a good job those years that they hosted the Golden Globes. I'd say either bring them back to host and just have them appear 2 or 3 times throughout the show, or just have them come back to do the opening again. Because I thought that was great. Mike Thompson writes, so Disney suffers a rare loss in the animated film category, but it was by a character they still technically own. Did they win even in defeat? Well, yes and no. It is a character. It is a Marvel character, but it's a Sony movie. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a Sony movie and a Sony movie exclusively. So yeah, that was a rare non-win for either Disney or Pixar in the animated field. A rare, not the first time it's happened, but it's rare. And yeah, I'll still say it was a defeat. It was still a defeat for them. Alex writes, Damien Chazelle is now 3 for 3 in making Oscar-winning films. Very happy First Man won for visual effects. It was the clear choice, in my opinion. Yeah, again, I have no argument with it winning. I wouldn't call it the clear choice. Again, I have 2 other films I would have given it to it in front of it, but the effects are so good in it, I cannot complain. I simply cannot complain, and that's always good. You know, honestly, I look at the Oscars this year, and I didn't see a single category where somebody won that I thought had absolutely no business winning. Because usually there's 1 or 2 or 3 of those every year. And this year, I don't feel that. It's not that all of my picks won, not at all. But I was generally satisfied as a film fan with the films and the nominees that did win. I cannot think of a single category that I was just like, that's ridiculous that won. I never felt that for any of the categories this year. And that's usually a pretty good thing. Aussie Nerd writes, the show's pacing was really good. Absolutely. We've talked about it a few times. It absolutely was. Masters Young writes, the best hair and makeup speech is awkward. Oh, which one was best hair and makeup again? Oh, that was the Vice one. Vice won best hair and makeup, which I no problem with. I don't remember the speech. I don't remember the speech. I got to go back and watch that one. Haskell 420 writes, last 2 questions here. Funniest, oddest line of the night. The winner of period and sentence says, oh my God, I can't believe a movie about menstruation won an Oscar. And the other great line from that speech was, a period should be the end of a sentence, not the end of a girl's education. Great line. Great line. A period should be the end of a sentence, not the end of a woman's education. I thought that was a wonderful line. I really like that. And the final thing tonight is from Nathan Oswald, who writes, remember Travolta saying Adele Dazeem. Yeah, I mean, one of the greatest Oscar blunders of all time. You know, and here to pronounce is Adele Dazeem. Anyway, KW sends one in, even though I said no more super chats, but I'll take this last one just because it's the Oscar night and we're wrapping up here. But KW writes, Mahershala is such a class act. So happy for him. He encompasses everything I love about the art, humbleness, talent, and passion. Yes, yes, yes. He was just fantastic. He's fantastic. He's 2 for 2 now. He's the new Christoph Waltz. He's the new Christoph Waltz, right? He's got 2 Oscars on his mantle now. Just happy for the dude. Such a good actor. So good in the movie. And another big win for Green Book tonight. So there you have it, guys. Those are my quick initial thoughts on the Academy Awards, on Green Book, on the Academy Awards this year. I was very, very satisfied with them as a fan. And I thought it had the potential to be a car wreck and all that kind of stuff. But the show went off pretty well. I still think the Academy needs new leadership, just because of all the turmoil there's been this year. But full kudos and full marks to the Academy Awards. I had a good time. Moved much better without a host than I thought it would. And full marks to them. Now, of course, tomorrow on the John Campea Show, we got a lot of stories that we're working on that we're going to talk about. And of course, we're going to go a little bit more in depth into the whole Academy Awards situation. I'll have Robert and Ashley with me tomorrow as well. Make sure you guys join me again. Guys, thanks for being here and participating in this little post-Oscar chat that we're having here. Again, really fun night. Moved much better than I thought. Very happy for Green Book, even though I thought Black Klansman should have won, but whatever. I think Green Book is a deserving winner, and all the way down the line, man, it was a really good show that, for the first time in a while, really just focused on the awards, and that worked. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap that up now. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the John Campea Show, and until then, guys, have a good night, and bye-bye.